Excuse me, have we met before? I'm Doofy Doo, and I'm making a talk through for Shiren the Wanderer, episode 18. Last episode we finished a few more phase puzzles and talked about the importance of a game having the appropriate control scale, appropriateness being defined by the taste of the individual gamer. This episode I'm gonna grab my katana and iron shield and take a break from puzzles for a little while. I did pretty poorly last episode. We're gonna go out and run a few errands that are necessary to unlock the first couple bonus stages. I'll grab a big rice ball. Yes, I did know that. You tell me every time I come here. I'll talk to this cook. The flesh was tainted, my friend. Tainted with the blood of the innocent. I devoured every morsel. Giant bead of sweat, Japanese shorthand for embarrassed confusion. I always feel bad for old Jar Man. No one's ever sitting across from him. Sorry man, don't have time to talk to you, I gotta go. You know who I should introduce him to? Gaibara. Did you say Jaws? I love Jaws! They would talk for hours. Cue a musical montage of them holding hands, skipping through Pottery Barn, slow dancing around a kiln. Oh, they could reenact the scene from Ghost. Oh, old Jaw Man, I've hungered for your touch. Okay, I gotta get serious. We got some wandering to do. One of the peculiar things about Shiren the Wanderer is that it hides its best content fairly deep in the game. It's gonna take several runs for us just to unlock the very first bonus dungeon. And a lot of people finish the main run in the game and never even know that there are any bonus dungeons because they don't take the time to finish the side plots. On one hand, this is a bad thing because it means a lot of gamers dismiss Shiren the Wanderer for not being a true roguelike or not being deep enough when they've never experienced the best part of the game. On the other hand, I like that the game saves the best part for last, that it builds... Oh, look, you saw that enemy dropped a blast shield. If you fight enough enemies on each floor, eventually one of them will almost always drop an item, and sometimes it's a rare item. As I said last episode, this game is designed to gradually increase the diversity of items you encounter with each run, so that even if you die, every time you play you're getting better and better and more different kinds of items. It's so subtle that a lot of gamers think that they're just becoming more lucky with each run, but the game is actually making it easier on you with each run and also very subtly teaching you how to play it. So if you keep playing Shiren the Wanderer, even if you never use the storehouse, you're gonna eventually win the game as long as you learn every run. And I know this is a restatement of what I said last episode, but one of the most amazing things about this game is how unobtrusively it allows the player to discover just how powerful they've always been and how to take finer and finer control over the game world. You really gotta admire that chubby armless cat for headbutting you. He's giving it his all. I can't talk to beautiful women. How does this game know me so well? Where was I? Oh yes, in some ways it's a good thing that Phase Final Puzzle, the best part of the game, is buried so deep in the game. Because all of the rest of the game is kind of a series of tutorials that are preparing you for the complete brutality of that final puzzle. And if you just came on it right at the beginning of the game, it would just seem ludicrously difficult. This map has always reminded me of a lady wearing a dress flicking you off if you look at it. While I wander around this map of a lady flicking me off with my totally metal shield, I will begin talking about the final and most important quality of good control in a game. And that is that the game emphasizes liberation over empowerment. In this final quality, I'm starting to talk about general aspects of control, autonomy and agency, as opposed to just the physical device you're using to control the game. As with any two concepts, the ideas of liberation and empowerment are not distinct. They're sort of points on a continuum, and there are no sharp boundaries between the two. The border gets a little bit fuzzy. When I was young, the most important thing to me in a game was a sense of empowerment. You know, I wanted to get that spread gun in Contra. I wanted to be a high level in Final Fantasy with the best armor and the best weapon that did the most damage and the most powerful spell. It was all about being the most powerful character in the game. About that feeling of encountering enemies that used to give you trouble and just completely annihilating them with no effort. And a lot of people, when they first come to Shiren with that attitude. An attitude inherited from other games and from society at large that says you should always be seeking greater and greater power. The greatest feeling in the world is being so powerful that all of your enemies fear you and know that you can destroy them, and whatever you want you can take. But I started noticing something strange when I was playing games. The most enjoyable part of a game for me usually is not the beginning of the game, when I feel constrained and trapped in a little tutorial, unable to do all the actions that I know I'll eventually be able to do. And it's not at the end of the game, when I am so overpowered that nothing offers any kind of threat, and I've completed all the side quests and bonus missions and all that's left is to win the game. Now, the most enjoyable part of a game to me is the middle. If you can imagine a game being shaped like a spindle of thread, it's very narrow in the beginning, it opens up wide in the middle, and then it narrows down at the end. I'm gonna hunt down these pickpockets, get my gold back. I always become very vengeful whenever these guys take my gold. Even if it's not really necessary, I usually try to hunt them down and get it back. But it's the middle of the game that I enjoy the most. And why is that? It's because I have a sense of liberation, a sense of possibility in the middle of the game. The game feels open. I can't see the boundaries. In some sense, it feels limitless. I have a sense of freedom. That's the best feeling in a game to me. And that pattern carries over to Shiren the Wanderer. In the final few post-game dungeons, I'm going to be very powerful because of the equipment I have. Probably from Faye's Final Puzzle, unless I win in a really weird way. Or maybe just because I've been grinding a little bit to get powerful items. And you need those powerful items to finish those post-game dungeons. But that's not the most fun part of Shiren for me. The most fun part is Faye's Final Puzzle. When you're not really super powerful, but there are so many different things you can do. I spoke earlier on in this talkthrough about my favorite thing about Shiren the Wanderer being the variety of verbs he has access to. I haven't even encountered all of them yet, but I'll go ahead and make a list real quick of the different things that I can do already to the enemies in this game. Shiren can slow down an enemy, speed up an enemy, switch places with an enemy, paralyze an enemy, poison an enemy, teleport an enemy to the end of a level, knock an enemy backwards. Hey, sexy blinded lady's in trouble. I gotta help her out. Chubby man, you're the one that said you were gonna kill her. Surprisingly weak. Little B hit harder than you, man. I better watch out though for a strong ginger dude. Also only did 1 HP. He was stronger in the original game. I know he did more than 1 HP. I'll bring him out into the open so we can have an epic fist fight in front of the whole town. Oh, I just killed 2 men and nobody cares. Hey, the sexy blinded lady, are you the one that has a crush on me or the one that doesn't? Or you really? Heh, that was a bad joke. Oryu, of course, is a parody of the main character in the second and third Hibotan Bakto movies. She is also named Oryu and is a professional gambler slash swordswoman slash all-around badass. Blinded again. I don't have a map this time, so I'm just gonna have to punch until I wake up. Alright, oh, here we are. And I have my first companion in the game. It sure is exciting. Oryu's the best one because she can blind the monsters so that they just walk in a straight line and don't attack you. Hey Oryu, does this rock remind you of anything? Huh? Maybe? A little bit? No? Not really? Okay, let's go. Where was I? Oh yes, I was listing the many verbs in Shiren. You can knock an enemy backwards, you can heal an enemy, you can turn an enemy into meat, although thus far only a skull wraith has been able to do that. You can turn an enemy into a doppelganger, put an enemy to sleep, confuse an enemy, detonate an enemy in an explosion, you can remove a type of an enemy from an entire dungeon, and you can become an enemy, which of course gives you access to many, many more verbs. And as I said, we haven't even encountered a lot of the verbs in the game because we haven't gotten to phase final puzzle. There's probably 3 or 4 times more than that we still have yet to discover. Hey, Smith's apprentice, I found another lady. Mr. Blacksmith, you have my blessing. So, guess you guys really hit it off, huh? Oh, you're done already. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'll be back. Hey, or you, how come you never go into the buildings with me? Just wondering. I mean, it's cool if you're not interested, whatever. We'll go down to the bottom part of the town. Ah, there we go. See Ketchy attacked by 4 mysterious strangers. Uh-oh, looks like he's in trouble. Shinichiro Tomi really likes Japanese action series from the 60s because both Ketchy and Oryu are based on pretty famous action stars from that period. They also share a theme of blindness, which dovetails nicely with the process of generally discovering the game, but that might just be a coincidence. I'm sorry you had to see that, sir. Well, this is the bottom of the map. There's the farm guy that's looking for a bride, and yeah, those are my favorite places in the town. Alright, let's move on to our adventure. Maybe I'll take a quick break in the bar, tell everybody about my girlfriend again. Yeah, totally have a... Wait, she didn't come in with me. Alright. Just tell me. Are you ashamed of me, or you? Well, this is a good time to stop. I didn't get a chance to finish talking about liberation and empowerment, so I'll wrap that up next time on Shiren the Wanderer. Why do words suddenly appear every time pots are near? Are you like me? Do you like to talk about ceramics? Why do jars hurtle through the sky every time you pass by? Probably because you love to throw your jars.
Oh, jar man, I've hungered for your touch.